the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God. All things were made through him, and without him nothing was made that was made.
For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whoever believes in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. For God did not send his Son into the world to condemn the world, but that the world through him might be saved.
Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen of the internet. How are you doing this fine Monday evening? Happy Memorial Day. I'm your host, Jake Johnson, and tonight, we're going to do some Bible studying. But first, stop doing that. Play around with it for a little while and figure it out before you do that again. All right. We will get it figured out one way or another. Linda Davis is in the house. Thank you for the gift to Luke B. and to Chill Pill, whomever they are. I hope that you utilize that gift and do something good with it. And Lisa Reen, how are you, sweetheart? Good to see you. Who else is here? Payway VR. Hi, Payway. Good to see you. Come on in. And good evening back to you, Linda. How are you? Tonight, we are in the great book of Proverbs, chapter 26, verse 4. That's where we left off last night. That's where we're going to pick up tonight. So get your Bibles out and dust it off and crack it open. Get it ready for some reading because we're going to have a good one tonight. I can feel it in my bones. Are you ready? I'm ready. I'm excited. I got my nice hot cup of coffee. The obligatory sip. And we're off to the races. Cold Creek Croft in the house. What's up? Payway, here's your channel. Hey, Cold Creek Croft. Good to see you, buddy. I hope you're feeling better today. There's got to be a way to choose. I just don't know how, Amanda. All right, I'm not in a position where I can look. I don't even see a place where you can request such a thing. Hold on. Nope. Try clicking on her icon and see if you can get it that way. I just don't know. We'll figure it out, Lisa Reen. We're on the case. I hope you're having a good day, by the way. Foxman, what's up, my brother? Good to see you. Welcome back to the show. We're having shots fired over here trying to figure out how to gift a membership. We'll get it figured, though. There's got to be a way to do it. Walter Davis in the house. Hey, Walter, good to see you, my brother. I hope you're doing well. ATL Transparency. What's up, man? Good to see you. How are things going in your neck of the woods? Stefan says, hey, guys, I missed you yesterday. It was my birthday, and I'm now closer to 50. Happy birthday, Stefan. I hope you had a great day yesterday, and I wish I'd have knew that yesterday. I'd have sang you happy birthday. But it's too late now, so you'll just have to accept my happy belated birthday and try not to get 50. It sucks over here. I'm closer to 50, too. I'm on the other side, closer, but I'm closer. Proverbs is good, ATL. I can't wait to get into it some more, and I hope you stick around and listen to it. Stefan says, thanks, Jake. You're welcome. Lisa Reen says, I see you working on it. No worries. I'm having a fine day. I hope you are as well. Well, it rained all day, but other than that, it was a fantastic day. Cold Creek Cross says, Foxman, here's your channel. Y'all show some love to the members here. See if you can't get them uplifted too. Share the love is what I say. We'll all get bigger together. How about that? Walter says, hey, Jake, Fox, Amanda, ATL, Montana, Pay, Luke, Lisa Reen, and Linda. Oh, we should have put Linda first, but we got it. Stefan says, hi, Amanda. Cole says, ATL, you know the drill. It's a lovely day today on the internet. I've been watching a bunch of political stuff, sharpening my teeth because I'm getting ready to come out with a political show to go along with the other stuff that I'm doing. Because I keep getting asked about it. I keep getting asked for it. And it seems to be the way that a large portion of the audience wants me to go. But I don't want to compromise what I got going on already. So I'm just going to do a separate thing and put it all over there. That way it doesn't have to be here. Why am I unable to see the chats that people are writing? Have you looked? Do you have it on live chat? Make sure it's on live chat, not top chat. That's the only thing I can think of. You being a moderator, you should be able to see everything. Cole says, Lisa Reen, are you on a phone or a computer? That's a good question. I probably should have asked that. ATL says, King Solomon trying his best to spread the wealth, right? And where we're at right now, he's writing a letter to his son, and he's trying to, he knows he's about to be king, and he knows he's not going to be in his son's life as much as he'd like to because, running the country and all. So he's writing him a letter and trying to impart his wisdom to his son the best way a father can in that situation. And it has some prophetic elements to it. It's a lot of the things in that letter have double meanings. He didn't know it at the time that he wrote it, but it worked out that way. Lisa Reen says, never mind, I fixed it. You go, girl. ATL says, thanks, Cole, for the shout out. Cole says, ATL Transparency News, salute, ATL. Walter Davis says, well, I think we got a tornado in the area. Looks it, and it sounds like it too. Well, don't try to rope that tornado. Don't ride it across the western sky. It only works out that way in a song. If you do that in real life, you'll be in trouble. Foxman says, I think you would have an excellent political show. Well, you're one of the people that asked for it, so you're going to get it. And I'm working on it now, trying to come up with a way that I can present. I mean, obviously, I lean to the right, but if I'm going to present, I got to present it all the way around. I can't be biased. I mean, I can voice my opinion, but I have to present it. Unlike Fox and CNN, I don't want to present the news with a slant. If I'm going to present political things, we got an election coming up. I'm going to try to tell the truth. I don't know how far that'll get me, but that's what I'm going to do because that's what I am. Maybe you'll appreciate it. Lisa Reen says, I hope you got a basement, Walter. Yeah, if you got a tornado, that'd probably be the best place to be. Walter says, yeah, we got a basement, but really don't want to go there. Cold Creek Croft says, Walter, heads down. Oh, heads down, Walter. Avoid the rides to Oz. Those were scary when I lived in KC. Yeah, you don't want to end up in Oz. That's a bad place to be. It's across the tracks and everything. Nothing but hoodlums over there. I don't know what I'm talking about. Cole says, an 1883 cabin. This 1883 cabin had a basement of sorts made when they put on a concrete foundation. Problem is, 40 tons of lumber on top of it falls. Yeah, that'd be bad news. April Rain in the house. Hello, April. How are you? Good to see you. Welcome to the show. It's going to be fantastic. Happy Memorial Day, everybody. I hope that you all had a good day today. And I hope that you hugged a veteran or something. Walter Davis says, seems to be east of us, heading south. One hit north of us today. Well, if it's heading south, you ain't got nothing to worry about. But I need to be looking out my window at about 1 o'clock. Amanda says, I'm listening. I'm just working on something, but I'm here. Won't be in chat for a few, though. You get that handled. Go look at whatever video or Google it. See if there's a way to do it. Lisa Reen says, I'll choose a tornado over an earthquake every time. It ain't so bad here in Oz. Yeah, earthquakes are scary. They're just downright scary. We don't want none of that. But I'm from Florida, so a tornado doesn't scare me. I've lived through many hurricanes. And when everybody else is putting up sandbags and nailing their windows shut, I go outside with a Mountain Dew and take it head on. I ain't scared of no hurricane. That being said, you need to pay attention because it ain't the hurricane that kills you. It's the stuff flying around in the wind that'll get you. But a tornado, I'm pretty sure I could jump right through one of those. I ain't going to try, though. But I'm pretty sure I could do it. I saw it in a cartoon once. Pretty sure I could pull it off. Cold Creek Croft says, cool to get 3 quakes over 3.5 when in Marysville. And wow, fantastic when only shakes everything with a little damage. Just amazing to experience. I don't think that's amazing at all. I don't want my ground to move. It's the ground. It's supposed to be sturdy. The ground ain't supposed to move. I'm not into that. I've only experienced 1 earthquake in my life, and it was an aftershock, really, because it was real quick, and it felt like a truck hit the side of my house. Bang! I heard a loud bang, and the house shook, and that was it. And that was in, I believe it was in 1999 in Milledgeville, Georgia, and whatever, it was somewhere up north that it had like a 5.2 earthquake, and the shock wave went down the East Coast. You may remember hearing about that. But that's the only earthquake I've ever been in, and I don't want to be in another one. That was enough. April says, amen, and hit that like button, everybody. Happy Memorial Day. Amen. Walter says, hey, April. Cole says, one was over 5 minutes long. Woke me. Whole house shaking. Got to walk out during it all to see the entire world vibrating. Trees, buildings, etc. That's terrifying. You ever see that video? There was an earthquake that hit like, I don't know, San Francisco or something like that, where the big bridge is. In 1930 something. And they filmed it. And the bridge is doing like this. And cars are flapping every which way. It was crazy. The bridge looked like it was made out of silly putty. If you find that video, watch that. That's quite amazing. And I don't want none of that. April says, hey, Walter, how you doing? Yeah, Walter, how are you doing? OMG, says April. Cold Creek Croft says, then the freight train secondary wave phenomena. Yeah, that's what hit my house. Swore a train just under the ground is coming down the valley. Could sense and hear its speed. Terrifying. April says, I agree, Jake. Lisa Reen says, I cannot count how many tornadoes I have seen, and they are escapable. You cannot escape the earth moving. Super scary. Exactly. I've been in 3 tornadoes in my life. And all 3 of them jumped right over my house and destroyed everything on both sides. Now, you might say I'm blessed, or you might just say that tornadoes are very unpredictable. I'm happy with the fact that I missed all 3 of them. But, like, you could see where it stopped and jumped over my house and started again on all 3 times. One time was in Frostproof, Florida. The first one that I ever witnessed. second one I ever witnessed. The first one was in Georgia when I was a little kid. The second one was in Frostproof, Florida. And the house across the street was sitting on its foundation crooked. But the house we were in was perfectly fine. Not a scratch on it. Very weird. You remember that, April? You were very young, but I have a better memory than you, so you may not remember it. But I remember it. Cole says, ironically, I lived in Los Angeles for 8 years or so when I was a kid and only recall one short tremor lightly shaking a shelf. It's weird. And April says, yeah, I'd move, Lisa Reen. That's weird, and I don't remember. Well, it happened. I was there. You were there, too, but like I said, I got a better memory. But I don't remember what year it was, but it was the year we moved down in with you guys in that brick house. Do you remember us living at your brick house with you for a week when we first moved to Florida? Cold Creek Croft says, now I have enough visibility here to see the summer thunderstorms as one big beast. And those are scary. More energy at work than several atomic bombs. Interesting. Kendra Wood, hello. How are you? Welcome to the show. You're not late. We all came early. She says, hey, y'all, I'm a little late. I stepped wrong off my porch steps and sprained my ankle. It hurts. Wow. You need to go get you some painkillers for that. My address is... April says, we were 8 or 9. It was around there, yeah. 8 or 9. Might have been 7, somewhere in that area. Yeah. Walter Davis says, hi, Kendra. April says, hi, Kendra. Good to see ya. Lisa Reen says, sorry, Kendra, but glad you're here. Yes, we'll pray for that sprained ankle. Maybe that'll do something. I don't know. I don't know how that works. But maybe. Speaking of which, it is time to roll. So let's go down, shall we? All right. Chapter 24, verse 26, verse 4. Chapter 26, verse 4 of the great book of Proverbs. And it reads, answer not a fool according to his folly, lest thou also be like unto him. What does that mean? Don't do what dumb people do, or you'll be dumb too. That's pretty simple. Answer a fool according to his folly, lest he be wise in his own conceit. If you do what dumb people do, he'll think he's doing the right thing and teaching you how to do it. Don't do that. If you're smart, don't follow dumb people. He that sendeth a message by the hand of a fool cutteth off the feet and drinketh damage. Why is that? Because the fool ain't going to make it to the destination where the message is going. You need a wily, crafty person to take a message. You don't need a moron that'll walk right into danger. It's pretty simple stuff. This doesn't really apply anymore, but you can apply this to other parts of life. The legs of the lame are not equal. So is a parable in the mouth of fools. Well, lame means that you have a messed up foot, whether it's by accident or if you were born that way, but your legs are not equal. You're standing on shaky ground. It's kind of the picture he's trying to paint here. The same as putting a parable in the mouth of a fool. Somebody trying to teach you something with a concept story, kind of like what Jesus did, the way he taught. He taught in terms that people could understand. He talked about farming and doing vineyard work, and everything he was talking about was planting or growing or something about a vine. But that's because that's what those people did for a living, and they understood him when he made those comparisons. That's a parable. And if you have a fool telling you a parable, chances are he doesn't even know where he's going with the story, let alone how he can make an apropos analogy. So don't do that. Listen to people with a little sense. Kevin Cox, what's up, brother? Good to see ya. As he that bindeth a stone in a sling. a guy that's getting ready to fire a stone out of a sling. So is he that giveth honor to a fool. If you give honor to a fool, you might as well punch him right in the eye, because that's about as good as it's going to be for him. I know that doesn't make a lot of sense, but that's what he said. As a thorn goeth up into the hand of a drunkard, so is a parable in the mouth of fools. It's just going to hurt. It's not going to make any sense. You don't deserve it, but you're drunk and you're handling thorny things, you're going to get poked in the hand. If you're listening to morons, you're going to get some bad information from time to time. The great God that formed all things both rewardeth the fool and rewardeth the transgressors. He is the judge. He's the guy that makes all the decisions in the end. He also rewards those that are wise and those that are righteous. So, which reward do you want? As a dog returneth to his vomit, so a fool returneth to his folly. You can tell them over and over and over again. They're still going to do the same thing because they don't know any better. That's what he's saying. Seest thou a man wise in his own conceit, meaning he thinks he knows everything? There is more hope of a fool than of him. Why? Because a fool can learn something. A guy that's convinced himself that he knows everything won't bother to listen, won't bother to learn something, especially if it's uncomfortable to hear, especially if it goes against or breaks his worldview. Then he has a tendency to ignore you or cut you off at the pass or throw ad hominem attacks or anything he can do to keep you from saying a wise thing that he may learn from. Because somebody that's that far down the rabbit hole, they don't want to learn. They want to stay in their little safe bubble. And it's hard to break people out of that. But that's what that means. The slothful man saith, or the lazy man saith, there is a lion in the way, a lion in the streets. I'm not going out there. It's dangerous. I'm going to stay right here in the house where it's nice and safe on this couch. I'm going to play the Xbox while you go out and work. I'll do it later. That's what a slothful person does. As the door turneth upon his hinges, so doth the slothful man upon his bed. Just like a door opening and closing on the hinges. It never goes anywhere. It just flips and flops. That's what happens when you're lazy. You can't get out of bed. And I'm here to tell you, if you don't get out of bed and go to work, you don't deserve to eat. It's as simple as that. And if you think I'm wrong, you just stop eating for about 3 days. And all of a sudden, something will go off in you. And out of nowhere, you'll be wanting to do something. You want to accomplish something because you're hungry. That hunger has a way of motivating people. The slothful hideth his hand in his bosom, and it grieveth him to bring it out again to his mouth. What do you mean by that? That means that he's so lazy he can't even feed himself. He has to rely on someone else to feed him, metaphorically speaking. Dana, welcome to the show, sweet lady. How are you? The sluggard, or the drunkard, is wiser in his own conceit than 7 men that can render a reason. All right, I'll give you a good example. His name is �្𝕉𝕉𝕃. Go look him up. It's 𝐶ENKUGER. �្�𝕉𝕃. There is a man who thinks he knows something he doesn't know. And you could put him against 7 other people, and he won't listen to any of them. He'll fare better than all 7 of them in a debate because he thinks he knows. He thinks he knows more than they know. He won't listen to reason. Now, that's one kind of person. There's lots of people out there that won't listen to reason, even if they think they know. And the reason they think they know is because they've had it poured into their head from birth, and they didn't understand that the world doesn't quite work that way. Sometimes it happens. But that sluggard thinks he's wiser than all 7 of the people he's against. He that passeth by and meddleth with strife belonging not to him is like one that taketh a dog by the ears. Have you ever grabbed a dog by the ears? They don't like that. He'll bite you. Well, that's what happens when you meddle in something that isn't yours. For example, if you're in a bar and you see a man and a woman arguing, you don't go over there and assert yourself in the middle of that. That's none of your business. You don't even know what that argument's about. He may be getting a little rough with her. Well, if she's smart, she'll get away from him. If she calls you and asks you to help, then go help. But under no circumstance do you go put yourself in between them, because you don't know what's going to happen next, which will most likely be her jugging you with a knife, because that's the way it works. Think I'm wrong? Ask anybody that's ever been in that situation. It's not good to take on strife that doesn't belong to you. Now, if she asks you for help, then you go help. You be the first man to stand up. But if she doesn't ask you for help or look in your direction longingly, you stay out of it, because you don't know what they're going through. All you can see is the surface. As a madman who casteth firebrands, arrows, and death, so is the man that deceiveth his neighbor and saith, Am not I in sport? Don't you believe me? Don't you see that I'm involved in science or politics or whatever it is they're talking about? Can't you see that I have a degree? Doesn't that make me smarter than everybody else? Don't you want to listen to me while I'm deceiving you? It's better for you to stand in front of a guy shooting arrows at you than to let that guy tell you anything. Trust that. Where no wood is, there the fire goeth out. What does that mean? If you don't fuel a fire, it goes out. You can use this metaphor in anything, but most especially in anger and in violence and in, disagreements and strife and that sort of thing. If you don't fuel it, it goes out. An example of this would be racism. There you go. The reason that we have racism. Do you not remember 1995, where the top 5 people in all of entertainment were black people, and they were all making money hand over fist, and they were all doing great, and everybody was getting along, and there wasn't nothing crazy happening in the world? Do you not remember that? Then comes in the political left, which is different than the old Democrats, a completely different way of thinking, and then they start hyping up all this race hatred, all this race baiting, all this talking about it, blah, 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 blah. It took 5 years, and we are worse off now than we were in the 60s when all of this was actually going on because of this. Stop talking about it. That's how you get rid of it. Don't listen to me. Listen to Morgan Freeman or Denzel Washington or anybody that you respect on that side telling you, hey, I'm a guy. How about you call me a guy instead of a black guy or a white guy? How about just guy? How about judge me based on my credentials and my abilities rather than what I look like? How about, here's a novel idea, let's stop talking about it. Remove it from the lexicon. If you don't fuel a fire, it goes out. Simple. That's not to say that it's not a big problem in the world, because it really ain't. Yes, it does exist. Yes, there are some morons out there, but their numbers pale in comparison to the rest of us who are just trying to survive. We don't care. We weren't there. We don't have any stake in that fight. Me personally, my people weren't even in that country. So it's a different thing altogether. But I can see it for what it is. It's a tool to spur derision between people. Because if you can divide a house, you can control the house. A divided house cannot stand. Only a united house can stand. So love your brother, stop whining about what everybody does, and get on with your life. That's what my message is. It's not just mine, it's in the Bible. No wood, no fire. So, where there is no talebearer or no liar, the strife ceaseth. Very simple. There's nobody out there running their mouth. The strife goes away. Try it if you think I'm wrong. As coals are to burning coals, and wood to fire, so is a contentious man to kindle strife. Are you contentious? Do you have a lot of issues? Do you got daddy issues? Are you a mama's boy? Or were you bullied when you were a kid? You're the guy that's going to cause the problem because you got contentiousness. You want to fight with somebody. You want to exert your power on somebody. That's where the problem comes from. That's it in a nutshell. You know what coals are to burning coals? More stuff to burn. You know what wood is to a fire? More stuff to burn. You know what contention is to strife? More stuff to burn. That's all it is. Let it go. Stop thinking about it. Think about things that matter. Think about things that are important. Think about God. Stop thinking about the differences between the people that are right next to you. They're part of your country too. You might not like it, but that's the way it is. So accept it and move on. The words of a talebearer are as wounds as they go down into the innermost parts of the belly. Yes, they can cause a lot of trouble, people that like to run their mouth. Here's a good rule of thumb. Thank you, Kevin Cox, for the $4.99. I appreciate it, buddy. Which reminds me, there is a super chat function in the chat. If you guys want to show some love, I do appreciate you, and thank you very much for that. And I forgot what I was going to say. The words of a talebearer are as wounds, and they go down into the innermost parts of the belly. Yes, here's a thought. Don't ever say anything about anybody that you wouldn't say to their face. If you wouldn't say it to their face, don't say it behind their back. That's a start. That goes for everyone. Don't say things that you know are not true or that you doubt are true. If there's one red flag, don't say it. Don't let it come out of your mouth. Don't try to take the cool path. Don't do things that you think other people will make you look better in their eyes. Don't do that. It's not worth it. It never is worth it because they don't like you. That's the reason that you're trying to gain their affection. If they did like you, you wouldn't need to. So there's no point in doing that. It's a waste of effort. Don't ever say anything behind somebody's back you wouldn't say to their face. That will change everything. And that goes for all the keyboard cowboys out there that like to start trouble on the internet because they're anonymous. Try saying that to somebody's face and see where it gets you. That will change the conversation completely right there. I think that's a good rule of thumb. Burning lips and a wicked heart are like potsherd covered with silver dross. Dross is the impurities that burns out of silver when you purify silver. And potsherds are broken pottery that get damaged before you finish the pot. So they just throw it all in a pile. And if you walk over it, it will cut your feet all up. That's what a wicked heart and burning lips will do for you. Cut your feet all up, metaphorically speaking. It's not an easy path to cross. He that hateth dissembleth with his lips, and layeth up deceit within him. When he speaketh fair, believe him not. For there are 7 abominations in his heart. Let me go back over that because that's complicated. He that hate, whoever is hateful, they got hate in their heart. They can dissemble by speaking. They can destroy people by speaking to them because they're speaking with bile and hatred. They can cause derision. They can cause anguish. They can cause pain with their mouth, and they will. They lay up deceit in their heart, meaning they think about it all the time. That's all they got. They're holding on to that anger and everything that they hate, and they're compiling it all together. And there's 7 things going on in their mind that are evil. I don't know what all 7 of them are, so don't hold me on that. But trust me, there's 7 things going on, and they're bad things. And when he speaks fairly, don't listen. Don't believe him because he's hateful. That fair is a trap to get you to listen to the hatred later. That's what he's saying. In other words, in more general speaking, judge a man by the fruit he bears. Stay away from hateful and vindictive and evil people. Don't let them in your orbit. When you see a man, judge him for what he is. by the contents of his character. And if you find him to be wanton, remove yourself from that person. Don't let them stay around you. It's not worth it. They will do nothing. Nothing good will come from their presence. Whose hatred is covered by deceit, his wickedness shall be showed before the whole congregation. Who among you who has hate in your heart thinks that that hatred will protect you? Who can hide inside of that hatred or that deceit or the lies you weave? You can't, because ultimately the truth comes out, and the truth has a way of weeding out whether you want it to or not. Even if you're trying to keep a secret, it will come out, and everybody will see it, and everybody will know you as a person who cannot be trusted. Be cautious of those people. Whoso diggeth a pit shall fall therein, and he that rolleth a stone, it will return upon him. This is an axiom. It's a figure of speech, meaning if you dig deep enough, you'll fall in the hole you're digging. And if you push a heavy stone up a hill, it's going to roll back on top of you. This is a cause and effect kind of expression. In other words, you reap what you sow. That's what he's saying. That's the simplest way to illustrate that one. You reap what you sow. Whatever you put into the world will come back to you. Whatever you cause will have an effect, and it won't be a good one if it's a bad thing that you caused. A lying tongue hateth those that are afflicted by it, and a flattering mouth worketh ruin. You ever heard the expression that flattery will get you everywhere? Well, that's true, but flattery by its very nature is you laying it on to schmooze someone else's ego. It's not the truth. And if it were the truth, it wouldn't be flattery. It would be true. It ain't bragging if you're right. You know what I'm saying? But if you're just laying on the flattery, all you're doing is lying to the person. And if you lie to someone, you hate them. Because if you loved them, you wouldn't lie to them. Simple. Boast not thyself of tomorrow, for thou knowest not what a day may bring forth. Very wise words. Don't worry or make plans or brag about what you're going to do tomorrow, because you have no idea what's going to happen today. Yeah, you might have some idea, but believe me when I tell you, the world has a way of throwing monkey wrenches into your plans, because it doesn't care how you planned out the day tomorrow. Live for today. Let the dead bury the dead, and take no thought for what you're going to wear or do tomorrow. Think about right now. Think about today. That's all you need to worry about. Also, a scientific statement if you look at it the right way, because the way time works, it's like a deck of cards, and you're the joker. Wherever the joker is, that's where current time is, and the previous card falls away, and the next card hasn't dropped yet. So the future isn't here yet, and the past is already gone. So if you think about time like a deck of cards, and you're moving through the deck, that's how it really works. So that's what this is saying. Don't think about tomorrow. Don't worry about yesterday. Think about right now. Jesus mirrors this in the Gospels, where he talks about taking no thought for tomorrow. Let the dead bury the dead. Live for today. Let another man praise thee, and not thine own mouth, a stranger, and not thine own lips. What does that mean? Well, nobody likes a braggart, for one. It's not good for you to go around telling everybody how smart you are. It ain't good. It ain't smart to be too smart. It is not good if you're the one doing the bragging on yourself, but it does mean something when everybody else brags on you. That's how you measure a person, if he's doing the talking or if everybody else is doing the talking. Because if everybody else sees it, it's true. But if he's the only one that sees it, he's pulling your leg. He thinks too highly of himself. A stone is heavy. Well, you got me. Yes, it is. And the sand is weighty. But a fool's wrath is heavier than them both. Think about that. A fool's anger, a fool's vengeance is heavier than a stone and the sand. Wrath is cruel, and anger is outrageous. But who is able to stand before envy? Open rebuke is better than a secret love. Yes, because if you can air your grievances in public, face to face, you can resolve those issues. But if you keep it inside, if you bottle it up, if you don't allow it to be solved, if you dwell on it, if you get all bent out of shape about it, it's only going to fester. It's only going to get worse. But if you can go to the person you have a problem with and talk to them face to face and say, hey, I've got a problem. This is what the problem is. How can we solve it? Chances are you'll fix that problem immediately. But anger and wrath, vengeance and violence is cruel. It's outrageous. It's unruly. It's unnecessary. It's bad for everyone. And envy, greed, and jealousy is worse than all of that put together. That jealousy can destroy a person's soul from within. Don't allow yourself to be jealous. Love what you have. Live within your means. Faithful are the wounds of a friend, but the kisses of an enemy are deceitful. True that. You find out who your friends are when you're in trouble, or you got to move or need a ride to the airport. That's when you learn who your friends are. Or if you run out of money, then you know who your friends are. But an enemy will placate you and say whatever you want to hear to get in there. That's deceit is a bad thing. And if someone's being deceitful to you, they are your enemy. A full soul loatheth an honeycomb, but to the hungry soul, bitter things are sweet. Yeah, if you're full, I don't care how good it is, you don't want to put no more of it in your mouth. Chocolate cake is great, but if you ate it every single day for a year, you wouldn't want to eat any more of it. You'd be full of it. But if you were starving to death, you would eat a piece of tree bark and it would be delicious. Because that's how being hungry works. As a bird that wandereth from her nest, so is a man that wandereth from his place. Know your place, men. Know what you stand for. Know what your job is in life. What's expected of you. What you are put here to do. Don't wander from that. Because a little bird that wanders from its nest, that's what you're like. You're lost in the world. You belong where you belong. You know your place. Ointment and perfume rejoiceth the heart, so doth the sweetness of a man's friend by hearty counsel. Yes, a friendship is worth everything. Night, Kev. Appreciate you being here, buddy. I love you. Happy Memorial Day. Thine own friend and thy father's friend forsake not, neither go into thy brother's house in the day of thy calamity. For better is a neighbor that is near than a brother that is far off. True. It's easy to be a friend. It's easy to be loyal. It's easy to be honorable. But if you're not there, it doesn't matter. You have to be there to be part of that. But it's better to have a neighbor that you barely know than a brother that you trust with all your heart that is too far away. Keep your friends close. My son, be wise and make my heart glad. All fathers want that. That I may answer him that reproacheth me, that I can stand before God and say, look at my son in whom I am well pleased. Look at the job he's done. That's my gift to the world. All fathers want that. All fathers want to be proud of their sons. They want to see their ambition. They want to see their strength grow into manhood and have a brain that's worth having. All fathers want that. This one is no exception. Be wise and make my heart glad, that I may answer him that reproacheth me. A prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. If you're looking at the ground while you're walking, you're liable to run right into a pole. But if you're watching, paying attention, you'll walk right around that danger and not get a big lump on your head. Be prudent. Be wise. Be wiser than the serpent, and keep your eyes in front of you. Take his garment, that is surety, for a stranger, and take a pledge of him for a strange woman. Now, this really doesn't apply anymore. This is an old custom that they used to do when accepting marriage proposals or whatever. First, the man would offer a pledge to the person who the woman belonged to, and he would either accept it or reject it. And if he accepted it, then you were betrothed. You weren't married, but no other suitor could come in and take your place because you offered your pledge. This really doesn't apply anymore, but that's what he's saying. Don't take a pledge from a stranger for a woman's hand, because that stranger doesn't have anything to do with her. He that blesseth his friend with a loud voice, rising early in the morning, it shall be counted a curse to him. I'm going to let that one sit with you because I don't exactly know how to take that. If you bless your friend with a loud voice early in the morning, it'll be counted as a curse to him. How is that? Unless the use of this word bless, I'm going to have to look this one up in the Hebrew because I don't think that word bless is correct. If anybody's got a Strong's Concordance, look up 27:14 and give me the meaning of it, please, in Hebrew, because he that blesseth his friend with a loud voice. Maybe that means if you call your friend out with a loud voice in the morning where everybody's up bustling around and can hear you calling him out, maybe that'll be counted as a curse to you, but I'm not exactly sure. I don't get the meaning of that one, so I'm either going to have to look it up or somebody's going to have to look it up for me. But I think that word bless is incorrectly translated. A continual dropping in a very rainy day and a contentious woman are alike. You ever listen to rain drip off of your roof on a very rainy day and heard it hitting the ground, and that constant pitter-patter of that sound that never, ever stops all day long? That's what a contentious woman sounds like. She never, ever stops yakking. That's what that means. Whosoever hideth her hideth the wind, and the ointment of his right hand, which bewrayeth itself. This is saying if you hide the woman, the contentious woman, it's like hiding the wind. You can't hide her because she's too loud. Everybody's going to know she's there. And if you do manage to conceal her presence, her scent from you touching her will be visible to everybody. They'll all know that you're messing around. You shouldn't be with that contentious woman. Iron sharpeneth iron, so a man sharpeneth the countenance of his friend. Jesus would say, wherever two or more are gathered in my name, there I shall also be. Many times in the Bible, it informs you to seek counsel among your elders or among your peers, 2 or more. 3 is good. 2 will work, but 3 is better. Why? Well, because when you put heads together, you can work off of each other's intellect. If I don't know something, you may. If you don't know something, I may. And we can both get smarter by that counsel, by that communion together. It's always better to sharpen your teeth with a partner. Simple as that. Because doing it alone, you tend to miss things, and nobody will call you on your bull crap. A good friend will call you out on your bull crap because everybody's full of crap. And everybody wants everybody else to listen to their bull crap. But a good friend will say, hey, that's bull crap. Stop that. This is the truth, and you know it. That's what a good friend will do. And another good friend will accept that, because that's what friends do. They don't placate each other. They keep each other honest. Whoso keepeth the fig tree shall eat the fruit thereof. So he that waiteth on his master shall be honored. This is basically the same thing as saying if you give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. But if you teach the man to fish, you can always sell him bait. But I don't think that's how that goes, but you got my point. As in water, face answereth to face, so the heart of a man to man. That's like, as in water. All the molecules of water are together. They're not separate. They're together. They're face to face, all of them. So a drop of water is the same water that's a lake, but if you separate it, and it's just a drop. But if you drop that water back into the lake, then all of it is one thing. Does that make sense? So is the heart of man-to-man conversations. If men lock arms together, if men join causes together, then the whole of them approach at one time together. That's a little complicated, but you get the idea. I need to make a note before we go on. Pardon me. $27.14. I got it. I'll come back to that one. Hell and destruction are never full, so the eyes of man are never satisfied. Very true. This word hell is the word grave. The grave is always empty. There's always another body to bury. There's always another grave to fill. That will never end until the end of time. So too is destruction. The second law of thermodynamics is everything tends towards chaos. Everything will always be destructive in force. It'll always be that way. Nothing ever stays the same. All things will come to an end. They're never full. But the eye of a man is never satisfied. He'll always, no matter what he has, he'll always be eyeing something else. He'll always be wanting to go a little further, get a little more, have a little more access. That's just the nature of mankind. As the fining pot for silver and the furnace for gold, so is a man to his praise. If you praise God, God refines you, just like if you're refining silver or gold, burning out the impurities. That's when you praise God, he pays attention to you. And if he loves you, he will try you. And then he will make something out of you. Amanda says that verse means he who blesses a friend with his loud voice. The sense here is of an over-the-top greeting and a blessing meant to flatter and manipulate, which is like what I said, if you call them out. It is loud and it starts early in the morning. Something is amiss in such excessive praise. So basically what they're saying is be weary of people that pile on the compliments, because people that do that are usually trying to get some kind of angle going, trying to manipulate you in some way. Somebody that's excessively praising you loudly so that everybody else can hear it. It will end up being a curse to yourself if you're one of those people that do that. So don't be deceptive. That's what that verse means. And thank you for clearing that up for me, Amanda. I knew that didn't sound right the way I was reading it. So I appreciate you making that right. Though thou shouldest bray a fool in a mortar among wheat with a pestle, yet will not his foolishness depart from him. What does this mean? Bray a fool. A mortar and a pestle and mortar is a little cup with a little hammer that goes inside the cup, and you put wheat in it and you pound it, and then you crush it and mix it around like this until it's powder. And that's what you should be doing to a fool to get the foolishness out of them. You should be trying them. You should be grinding them to dust and making something new out of them, like a loaf of bread. So that's what a pestle and mortar is. That's what that is. And so the foolishness will not depart from him, just like the wheat will not depart even though you grind it into powder. It's still wheat. So it's hard to instruct a foolish person and make them gain wisdom. They have to hit rock bottom before they can do that. They have to lose everything before they can start rebuilding who they are. I hope that makes sense. Be thou diligent to know the state of thy flocks, and look well to thy herds. If you have cattle or sheep or people, you have to be attentive to them. You have to be available for them all the time. You have to constantly be worrying about them. You have to keep your eyes on them. Why? Because they're your responsibility. Whether you chose it or it was given to you, they're your flock and you're their shepherd. And so it's your job to lead them to food, to lead them away from danger. That's your job. And it's a very valuable job, because in those days they didn't have money. They counted richness by the amount of cattle you were able to keep, because you could sell that to gain other goods. So it's very important, a shepherd's job. The Bible seems to think very highly of shepherds, being that the main key players all throughout were all shepherds of some sort. So think about that. If you take up the mantle of being a shepherd, or if you're a parent and you have children, or if you're a band leader and you have musicians, or if you're a pastor and you have a flock, it is your job, it is your responsibility, it is on your head to see to it that you lead them to food and away from danger, and to protect them when they need it, and to provide for them what they need. That's your job, and you should take it very seriously, and the Bible backs me up on that. For riches are not forever. Riches don't mean anything. Money does not mean anything. You cannot take it with you. You cannot push it into the future. You can only use it right now. Money doesn't mean everything. Riches are not forever. And doth the crowd endure to every generation? No. People change. People are different. Every generation has a different thing they're going for. Look at the one that's happening right now. Very obvious that they're not like my generation. The hay appeareth, and the tender grass showeth itself, and herbs of the mountains are gathered. The lambs are for thy clothing, and the goats are the price of the field. What does that mean? Well, as I said earlier, they didn't have cash in those days. They used stuff. They bartered. They used barley or wheat or cattle or goats. But lambs, if you have a lot of lambs, then you have a lot of wool, and you can make a lot of textiles, a lot of clothing, a lot of material things that are very valuable to your survival, such as coverings to sleep on, such as covers for your house, such as the clothes on your back. And it's a sign of wealth to have that, and that's what they were made for. You ever notice that there's no wool shearing lambs out there? Lambs require people. That's how you know that we live in a reciprocal universe, because everything in it requires something else in it to survive. Nothing can live by itself without the aid of something else. Nothing. Everything on earth, there's not one wasted thing on this earth. There's not one independent atom in the universe. Everything requires another thing to keep it going. Everything, including you. And if you think you're an individual, I strongly suggest you learn what the words flora and fauna mean, and then go have a look at what's inside of your stomach, and under your fingernails, and inside of your eyes, and inside of your ears, through a microscope. You'll find out very quickly you do not live alone. By no means. And thou shalt have goat's milk enough for thy food, for the food of thy household, and for the maintenance for thy maidens. Not only will you be able to take care of yourself, but you'll be able to take care of your household and everybody that works in it to keep this house going. That's the goat's milk. That's the endorsement of your peers. That's the tithing of the church. That's the paycheck of the boss. That's the everything requires something else. And in this statement, he's saying, tend your flock. Make sure they're paramount in your imagination. Make sure you're paying attention to your sheep and your herds, because they are the ones that are going to provide you the things you need to survive. That is your money. Use your money with the utmost of confidence that you're using it to invest into your future. That's what money is for. And in this case, it's talking about the cattle and the lambs and the goats and stuff, because that was their money. If you don't take care of your flocks, you don't get to have goat's milk and clothing and prices of fields that you can grow food in, things like that. That's what the riches are for. They're for you to survive. They're for other people to survive too. The wicked flee when no man pursueth, but the righteous are bold as a lion. That's right. I'm not running from anybody because I'm righteously correct in my way of thinking, and I'm not afraid of any man. Now, you go around proving me wrong, I'll start backing up, because then I'll be incorrect. But right now, I see myself as correct, and I will stand before anybody and hold my ground with what I know. But wicked people will run from their own shadow. They'll run when nobody's after them because they're scared, because they don't know anything right. And they know it instinctively. They think they're right, but instinctively they know they're not, which is why they attack rather than conversate. That's why they can't hold up their arguments. They don't want to fight you because they can't back up their argument. Take any of these left-wing radicals that are out there, the bad ones, not the regular, not liberals, but, the crazy ones. And watch how they'll come up and try to stop people from talking, like a right-wing guy comes to a campus and there'll be a protest to stop them from speaking. They'll try to shut them down. They'll yell and make noise and all kinds of stuff to keep you from hearing that guy's arguments. But if that guy says, here's the microphone, you tell me what your argument is, they will get worse. They won't argue because they can't back up that argument, because it's intellectually bankrupt. It's dead. All it is an idea, and it's a bad one. And intellectually, they know that. That's why they act that way. Simple. A man that knows what he's talking about will sit here calmly and discuss it with you and offer you the chance to prove him wrong, because his argument is strong enough that it can take a little bit of pushback. If you don't have an argument that can stand on its own 2 feet, you don't have an argument. This is Debate 101. For the transgressions of the land, many are the princes thereof. Let me read that again. For the transgression of a land, many are the princes thereof, but by a man of understanding and knowledge, the state thereof shall be prolonged. So a prince is set up over a province. That's what a prince does. He runs portion of the king's kingdom. If you got more than one prince, you got more than one province. That's how it originally was anyway. And the state of that land is on the prince's shoulders. And if he's not a wise man, that land is not going to produce very well. But a wise man, a man of understanding, can prolong the state thereof, of that land. They can make it last longer. They know how to work the ground, and they know how to water the fields properly and plant at the right time of year and harvest at the right time. They know stuff. That's what a man of understanding is, a man that knows things, a man that has spent the time to learn those things. You need one of those in a community, if not more. A poor man that oppresseth the poor is like a sweeping rain which leaveth no food. That's like the blind leading the blind. Poor oppressing the poor because he thinks it's going to make him less poor. That's not a good way to be. They that forsake the law praise the wicked, but such as keep the law contend with them with wickedness. You want to be a contender, or do you want to praise the wickedness? You want to keep it going, make it worse. You want to support these bad ideas that are running through the Congress and all of that right now? You want to take your time and read the law yourself and understand what's being presented, or do you just want to go along with the crowd and chant whatever it is they're chanting? Because if you forsake the law, this is the Bible telling you to follow the law of the land. Because if you forsake that, the wicked rise in power. But if you keep the law, if you are a law-abiding citizen and you know the law so you can stop other people from breaking it, then you're a contender against the wicked. Then you can beat it back into submission. That's how the world works. So it's in your interest to be political if you're an adult. If you don't vote, you don't have a right to complain about it. But if you do vote and you have a dog in the fight, then it's your job to understand what it is you're voting for. See what I'm saying? Then you have to be accountable, because that's what adults do, and that's the problem with our country today. We stopped growing up about 1999, about 2005. We stopped letting adults mature, and we started stunting the growth of people. We started placating nonsense, and then we let the asylum be ran by the inmates. There are no adults in the room. That's the problem. Evil men understand not judgment. They don't get it. They don't know when they're being condemned because they're evil. But they that seek the Lord understand all things. How many things? All things can be found by seeking God Almighty. What did Christ say? Seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all other things will be added unto you. God knows the desires of your heart. He knows the things you're looking for. And if you want to find it, seek him first. And all of those things will just come to you. Whatever it is you're looking for, it'll just happen. Seek ye first the kingdom of God. Prozac given to kids since the mid-90s caused a lot of our problems. And if you delve into why that is, you will learn that the key element of that is stunting their intellectual growth. They stopped becoming adults. Those old people that are in Congress and in the White House, they're not adults. They're teenagers stuck in old bodies. Watch how they act. Go watch Ocasio-Cortez have an argument with one of the judges or whoever it is, and listen how they talk to one another. It's in the news today. It'll be on the next Hyperbole. But listen how they talk to one another, and tell me where the last time you heard somebody talk like that was. And you're going to remember it was in high school. These are not adults. These are children. The adults have bowed out, if there are any left. They've bowed out. They're not playing anymore. All of those people in power, all of those people doing all this nonsense to the world, they're all children. And they should probably be turned over somebody's knee at some point. I bet that would fix a lot of it. Evil men do not understand the judgments that come down upon them. They don't get it. They don't even know they're evil. I'm sure every evil person thinks they're doing what's right for them, but they're not considering the big picture. But if you seek the Lord, you'll find understanding of all things. All things will make sense. Better is the poor that walketh in his uprightness than he that is perverse in his ways, though he be rich. Yeah, if you're a pervert, if you're perverted inside, if you're evil, if you're selfish, if you're a glory hound, if you're greedy, if whatever's wrong with you, it don't matter how much money you got. A poor person who is righteous is richer than you will ever be. They have more than you will ever have. They understand things you'll never understand. They feel things you'll never feel. They are not afraid when they go asleep at night, but you are. I tell you what, do a Google search right now of the top 10 richest people in the world. Do 20 if there are 20 richest people in the world. And look at their pictures. And tell me when you find one that looks happy. Tell me when you find one that doesn't look utterly terrified. Looks like he hadn't slept in a week. Looks like he's not eating well. Look at him. Rich people are terrified. They're mortified because all they can think about is keeping the little power and greed that they have and not letting anybody take it away from them. And there's all kinds of threats always. You think a poor person has to contend with that? If you're righteous, you don't have to contend with that. Even if you are rich. Or if you're poor, it doesn't matter. I'm the richest man in the world because I got something very few people ever find. Love. That makes me rich. There's nothing I want for. I have everything I need within reason. I have everything you have for sure. I have my intellect. I have my heart. I have my principles on which I stand diligently. And I have friendship. And I have loyalty. And I have honor. And those things are more valuable than money ever will be. Believe that. You should seek that in your life. Whoso keepeth the law, this is twice for emphasis. If you keep the law, you are a wise son. Remember what he said about his son? He wanted his son to be wise and make his heart proud, make his heart merry because of the wisdom of his son. If you keep the law, you are a wise son in whom I will be well pleased. This is the implication of this. Keep the law. Keep God's law, but keep man's law as long as it doesn't contradict with God's law. Keep the law. Be a law-abiding citizen. Don't be a rebel. I know, coming from me, that's weird, but trust me on this. It works out better for you in the long run if you don't rebel against things. But he that is a companion of riotous men shameth his father. Don't associate yourself with people that are rebellious and riotous. Those people are not righteous. Those people are not law-abiding citizens. They want to burn everything to the ground. You stay away from those people. Don't even allow them into your orbit. He that by usury and unjust gain increaseth his substance, he shall gather it for him that will pity the poor. You know what ill-gotten gains are? Do you know what unjust gain and usury is? Usury is the practice of borrowing money for a repayment with interest. That interest is usury. And the Bible instructs you not to engage in usury. Live within your means. You work for $1, you gain $1, you use that dollar. Don't want things that dollar can't buy. Save more money. Pay cash for it. Don't involve yourself in usury, because usury will always lead you down into debt. And debt is a thing you need forgiveness for. It's in the Lord's Prayer. Forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors, right? That's part of the Lord's Prayer. Forgive the debt and then move on without using usury, because it leads to ill-gotten gains. Ill-gotten gains is gaining something you didn't work for, something you didn't earn. And there's not a rich person alive that didn't do something crooked to get it. That, notwithstanding people that inherited it, but the people that made that money did something bad to get it. That's how you get rich. You can't get rich in a normal society where you get what you work for. All you can hope for that is to get by. To work enough, to pay for enough, to keep you busy until you die. That's all you can hope for. You can't get rich without doing something crooked. There's no way. It's not right. And if you're one of those people, I strongly suggest that you get on your hands and knees and ask for repentance over the things that you've done. First, recognize it, know that what you did was wrong, and then ask for forgiveness for it, and then don't do it again. That's the only way you have out of that, because you've already done it if you got that kind of money. If you have been a rebel for a long time, then I suggest you get on your hands and knees in your closet and you speak to God about it and lay it out on the table just like you would telling me your stories. Tell God what you did. Admit it to yourself that it was wrong, and then grow from that. Now, if you need help doing that, I'll be here. You can contact me via phone or email, and I'll walk you through that. But you can do that yourself. You don't need anybody to help you through that. But if you do, I'll be here for you if you want it. That's the best I can offer you. But I can tell you up front, coming from a man who has made many, many mistakes, and you can look at my face and see the scars in my heart. I'm not hiding any of it. Look at my eyes. You can tell what I've been through. I've done many, many things that I'm not proud of. But I'm not ashamed of anything. I carry no guilt. You know why? Because I've asked for forgiveness, and I've done the work to admit what I've done that was wrong and learn from it so that I never do it again. That's how you grow. You can't change the mistakes you've made, but you can grow from them, and God will accept that. And if you ask for forgiveness, then you need to have faith that you were forgiven and never bring it up again. God won't bring it up again. You let it go too. It's in the past. Let it go. Never think about it again. You've been forgiven. Move on with your life. That's the only way to do it. This is where we're going to stop, ladies and gentlemen. We'll pick up next Sunday, chapter 28, verse 9. Man, what a fantastic, intense read that was. I hope that it touches your heart. I hope that you understood some of what I was talking about. I hope that it causes you to reach out with both hands to your Father, Almighty God, and ask Him into your life. Ask Him to be part of who you are, to change the things about you that were wrong and make you whole again, to cleanse you of your guilt. Ask Him for that. He'll give it to you. I promise He will. While you're considering that, won't you please do me a favor and hit that subscribe button and press the bell icon so you get notifications when I'm going to be online. Smash that like button. It's free. It's effortless. It's right in front of you, and it really does help the channel with the algorithms. It helps us get recommended to other people, so won't you do that, please? Share this video with somebody you love. Better yet, share it with somebody you don't love. Bring them into the family. Make it part of the fold. Be part of their solutions, not part of their problems. Leave a comment down below and let me know what you're thinking about. Question me, curse me, bless me, challenge me, confront me, conform me, drink my Kool-Aid. Make your own Kool-Aid as long as you're thinking critical. That's what I want. Critical thought coming from that brain of yours. And hey, if you love the Word of God and you can see the value in what I'm trying to create, won't you consider showing some love by hitting the super chat in the chat box or joining the channel to see what we're going to do later on that's going to change the nature of your life. But if you feel compelled and you wish to do a little something more substantial, if you feel led to send your tithes, offerings, or love offerings, you can do so by going to paypal.me/jakejohnsonband. Or if you're a Cash App user, $JakeJohnsonBand. Every little bit helps. It's a win-win. It's a blessing for me. But it's a blessing for you too. Do you know why? Because we live in a reciprocal universe. You give and you will receive. You ask and you will be answered. If you knock, the door will be opened unto you. That's the way it works. That's the way it goes. And I promise you, it will never let you down. Now, I will do everything in my power to be worthy of that support. I will answer all of your questions and comments, as I always do right now. All right. Fantastic. April, you've been a member for 2 months. Congratulations on that J-Tag, and thank you very much for that. Dana, praise the Lord. Thank you very much for that $20 super chat. I appreciate that very much. Thank you. Let me scroll up and see what I've missed here. Uh-oh. I messed up. What am I doing? Oh, there we go. I got it. I fixed it. All right. Cold Creek Croft says, This energy is about 107 kilowatt hours, roughly equivalent to a 20 kiloton nuclear explosion. A large multi-cell storm can easily be 10 to 100 times more energetic. Yes, thunderstorms can be powerful. God's work is awesome. And we're just discovering little bits and pieces of it as we go. It's always been here. It always will be here. But we discover some of it occasionally. Walter Davis says, Kendra, did you pack that ankle with ice? Cold Creek Cross says, yep, ice, elevation, and drugs. But I never use the ice. That is too cold. Elevation and drugs is what, just drugs, pretty much. And like I said before, my address is. Kevin says, hey, brother, what's up, Kev? Walter says, hi, Kevin. And Kendra says, hey, y'all, I'm so clumsy. I get hurt getting out of bed in the morning. And yes, I'm going to the doctor tomorrow. Well, that's good. I hope you get that taken care of. Put an ace bandage on it or something. Some Bengay, some Pepto-Bismol. Take something. Jesus. Walter says, we got a tornado watch. And the smoothie truck is out. The Mr. Smoothie truck is out. You got a tornado watch and there's a Mr. Smoothie truck running around? That's a dedicated smoothie salesman right there. Kevin says, hey, Walter. Cold Creek Croft says, hey, Bahrain, $10 for a copy of every old photo of Jake when he was a goofy kid, if he ever was. Extra for embarrassing anecdotes. Well, how much money do you got? I'll send you some. Kendra says, Walter, I did, but it's swollen bad and turning colors. Well, the colors are good. Don't let that scare you. That means that it's healing. Kevin Cox says, hey, Amanda and all others. And April says, hey, everybody, much love to all. I'll wait and send my membership status of the J-Tag. Enjoy Bible study. Thank you very much. Everyone went for all questions. Everyone went for all questions to go to the stream. Thank you for the like button. Let's say, I think what she's saying is, wait to the end at the Q&A session to ask your questions, but he'll answer them at the end of the show. And thank you for hitting the like button. Please do hit that like button if you haven't done so already. It does help a lot. Thank you, April. April says, LOL, MVTV. And Linda Davis says, Kendra, use some comfrey. Comfrey? I don't know what comfrey is. Use some comfrey on it. It's nature's bone knit and helps the swelling. I don't know what comfrey is, but that sounds like good advice. Dana, welcome to the show. She says, Proverbs 26:9. As the thorn goeth up into the hand of the drunkard, so is a parable in the mouth of a fool. Absolutely true, Dana. It hurts and you can't get that sucker out because it'll just sit in there and fester and then it'll be sore for a week. That's what learning from a fool will do for you. Only listen to wise people if you want to learn from them. How do you know if a person is wise? You judge a man by the fruit he bears. Listen to what he says. Open your ears. Open your mind, but not so open that your brain falls out. Keep attention to what's being said to you. Pay attention to what he said before. Pay attention to what he says now. Put it together. If it makes logical sense, that man is wise. You listen to that person, especially if you don't actually know the answer to the thing he's talking about. You can also check up on him. I once had a person that's been talking to me a lot recently say, when we first started talking, I thought you spit out a bunch of nonsense. So I started Googling everything you said, and I checked you up on it. Dang if you weren't right every single time, to the point that I stopped looking. I just assume you know what you're talking about. That's how you know if a person is wise. Judge them by the fruit they bear. Kendra says, Linda Davis, I will. I can't put weight on it right now, and that bothers me. Kendra, Take it easy. Get you a crutch or a cane or something. Keep that foot up off the ground. A sprain is a rough thing to get over, but you will get over it. Cold Creek Croft says, FYI, I got an ad. Excellent. Just saying so. You have an idea of them. Seems to have returned where you left off. Excellent. Thank you for that information. That's something I needed to know, Cold Creek Croft. I was afraid that it would cut off part of the thing if you got an ad that you'd pick up halfway through some other thought. But I'm glad it brings you back. And I don't have any control over what ads play. They do. What they do is they look at my channel, and if they think that my content is compatible with their brand, then they'll advertise on the channel. But I have no idea what the ads are going to be beforehand. But I appreciate you guys putting up with that. That is one way that I'll be able to survive in the long run. So I'm trying to build this into a profitable business that I can retire from and work on this full time, which I will do if it starts making any money. Right now, I'm living hand to mouth and about to lose everything. So it needs to make money. So I appreciate you putting up with the ads. I'll try not to have too many of them. Dana says, April Rain, heart, heart, heart. Lisa Reen, big heart with stars in it. Is that better than a heart, heart, heart? I don't know. Dana says, greetings to everyone in the chat. Greetings back to you, Dana. How are you doing? I hope you're having a good day today, this Memorial Day, which doesn't apply to you because you're in a different country, but Memorial nonetheless. Happy day. Dana says, Amanda says, I will be back in a minute. Hi, all that came in. Okay, you go do your thing. Cold Creek Croft says, Kendra, if I saw that in an ER in the field or as an EMT, I would almost suspect a break. The no weight bearing is a sign, but soft tissue damage can also be the same. Best not to try. Yeah, best not to put any weight on that foot. Cole says, Kendra, we would sometimes place bets between us if something was a fracture or just a soft tissue tear or break. And only the x-ray tells. Not like we made bets on our patients a lot, sigh. Well, that's all right. And Cole says, nope, he's gone. Continue, CPR. I've got $50 on this guy. Nah, what are we talking about? Who's gone? And who's CPR? CPR. Oh, never mind. I got it. It was a joke. I understand. That's what happens when I have to catch up. Sometimes I have to think about those for a minute. Thank you, Kevin Cox, for the $4.99. Amanda says, way to go, Kev. Thanks. Cold Creek Croft says, dross, noun dross. Something regarded as worthless, rubbish. Reading ahead. Yes, dross in this instance, the way it's used in this sentence is the impurities that comes off of silver when you purify it, or gold when you purify it. You burn out the impurities and you're left with pure metal. Same thing happens when you refine iron. You have to get rid of the slag. It's called slag when you're dealing with iron, but it's the same thing. It's the waste product of what the pure thing that you're making. People are like that too, by the way. We got a lot of junk inside of us, and when God tries you, he burns that impurity out of you like burning you with fire. You are made righteous by being tried by fire. God will burn the impurities out of you and make you whole, make you righteous, make you clean. That's what you want him to do. But it's painful, and it involves breaking you into tiny bits and then reconstructing you as a whole human being. Dana says, talebearer, gossiper. They could be vile. Yes, they could, Dana. And thank you both for the definitions. Sometimes I forget to define things. I think of a talebearer as a liar or a gossiper or somebody that spreads rumors. That's kind of what that means. Walter says, hi, Dana. Dana says, hey, Walter, heart. Cold Creek Croft says, I have my door open as Jake is speaking, and I see a wild cottontail 3 feet in the grass, watching, listening. And then he came up, almost came in. I swear, Jake's voice drew him in. I wasn't making any noise. Wow. Well, I do have a way with animals. That's awesome. Cold Creek Cross says, I got it on film, so I will post it later. Now, I need to first shut up and let the study go on, replay one, and see if his voice will draw in the cattle. They're curious at times. Moo. Moo. Maybe that'll help. Amanda says, okay, sorry, y'all, I'm back. Did you get it figured out? Kevin Cox says, I've been working all day. I know it is Memorial Day, and if you served, we appreciate you. Good night. Kev, take a break, buddy. We love you. Thank you for being here. Amanda says, good night, Kev. Cold Creek Cross says, safe travels, Kev. And April says, amen. And good night, Kevin. Welcome back, Amanda. Good to see you. Amanda says, thanks, April. Dana, good to see you, says April. And thank you. Smiley face, Rose, Pac-Man Ghost. April says, Linda and Lisa Reen, much love to you both. How are y'all? Linda Davis says, had a great weekend. Thank you, April. Hope all is well with you. Oh, that's sweet. I do hope you guys had a good weekend. April says, huh? What? That was the thing I said that I couldn't figure out, that Amanda then gave me the definition to. And April says, yes, ma'am, everything is all right. Thanks, Linda. Thumbs up. Pac-Man Ghost, heart with stars in it, and prayers. And Amanda tells us the definition of the word blesseth in that context. And Lisa Reen says, doing mighty fine. April, how are things with you? And Amanda says, amiss in such excessive praise. Yes, there's something amiss in such excessive praise. It's weird when people give you too much compliments. They're trying to get something out of you. That's what it is. April says, doing good, love. Thanks, Lisa Reen. Amanda says, sorry it took me so long, LOL. Did you get it figured out? April said, thanks, Amanda. You're beautiful. Appreciate you so much. Rose, smiley face with herpes, Pac-Man Ghost. And Amanda says, smiley face with herpes back at you. Thanks, April. April says, ugh, LOL. And Amanda says, amen. And Walter says, Prozac, given to kids since the mid-90s, caused a lot of our problems. Oh, yeah. And April says, absolutely, Jake, I agree. Thank you. And Amanda says, Ritalin had a good hand in it too, Walter. Ritalin and Prozac and Valiums and Xanax and all kinds of other things that they give people that shouldn't be taking things like that. April says, amen. And Walter says, there were a few of them, Amanda. Yep. Absolutely, Walter, says Amanda. Lisa Reen says, my mama had happy pills. When I got pissy, she wanted me to take one. I wouldn't do it. They were Valium, I think. She rarely took one. I never would. Congratulations for you. They're called happy pills, but they are lazy pills because they'll take the inhibitions right out of you and they'll take your ambition right out of you. It's not good. A hyperactive kid means that the kid is smart and needs something to do, and you're not doing it. You're not hitting on whatever it is they need. That's what a hyperactive kid needs. If you properly challenge a child, they are no trouble at all. You just got to put the right thing in front of them. You got to figure out what makes them tick and give them something to think about. That's it. Amanda says, amen. Walter Davis says, that advice is a bit late. Amanda says, not too late. Just use it and move on and learn from it. Don't make the same mistakes. That's right. And April says, that's right. And Walter says, I have been a rebel for a long time. Well, it's never too late to make it right. Walter says, Bo and Luke Duke were my role models. We fight the system. Making our way the only way they know how. That's just a way that more than the law will allow. I'm with you, Walter. They were my heroes, too, when I was a kid. Amanda says, LOL, Walter. Dana, thank you for the $20. Walter says, great read, Jake. April says, great read, Jake. I loved it. Thank you both. Amanda says, great read, Jake. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you. Amanda says, Dana, thank you so much. Heart, Pac-Man Ghost. April's been a member for 2 months. That's fantastic. Thank you. And congratulations. You're absolutely amazing, Jake. Much love. I'm excited to be here. I appreciate that, Amanda. You've been a member for 2 months, too. Amanda says, woohoo, April, thanks. Curious Squirrel, welcome to the show. She says, thank you for sharing, Jake. Much love and hugs to you and all of the wonderful people in chat. Be excellent to each other. And most of all, party on, dudes. What, you didn't think I'd catch that reference? Come on back now, you hear? April says, yay. And Amanda says, oh, I forgot about that, April. Thanks. Walter says, hey, squirrel. Squirrel. Sorry. OCD or ADD or AHDH or whatever the hell it is. Something's wrong with me. April said, join the JTAG. Share, support. Love you all, true. That's right. Join that. Hit that join button and come see what these girls are being all happy about. Change your life, I promise. April says, woohoo, Amanda, love you. And Curious Squirrel says, hey, Walter, curious where you from and who are you? It's good to have you here. April says, Pepto-Bismol. Put some Pepto-Bismol on it. Amanda says, you too, April. And April says, LOL. I love it. You crack me up, Jake. I try. Me and the mustache is having a good time, so I hope you are too. April says, yep, that's what I meant. And Amanda says, and question everything. That's right, question everything. Don't ever accept status quo, because if it's a status quo, chances are somebody's had their fingers in making a narrative. You don't want to follow narratives. Look for the truth yourself. Open your eyes and observe things, and then question everything. You'll be surprised at what you learn. April says, yep, thank you, Jake, exactly. And thank you, ma'am. April says, I don't see ads. Well, that's you're missing out. That's all right. You super chat enough. It's all right if you don't catch the ads. As long as somebody's catching them. And Linda Davis says, my ads are different than Walter's. Interesting. They may have some kind of system that tries to personalize ads to the viewer. I don't know how that works exactly. They're doing a lot of weird things with AI these days, so don't be surprised about anything you see. Amanda says, I do. I've had 3 already. Excellent. Lisa Reen says, oh my, I buffered so much. I am 10 minutes behind. Geez, me too. Amanda says, sorry, Lisa Reen. April says, Elsie, the cow? LOL. Yep, that's part of the cattle. Amanda says, can't do anything about it. Can't choose a specific person. Well, that's not good. We're going to have to figure out some kind of way. April says, LOL, Jake. And Amanda says, but YouTube is working on making that an option. Well, what's the point in gifting something if you can't gift it to the person you want to gift it to? April says, LOL, it's a hearts, Jake. Smiley face. Well, it looks like a Pac-Man ghost with herpes. Amanda says, LOL, April. By the way, pardon me, I'm awful hoarse today. If you guys haven't done so already, go check out the brand new Facebook page for Untethered Live. The link is in the chat. You can reach out to each other and communicate amongst yourselves. You can share videos and pictures, and you can keep up to date with all things Untethered Live Universe. So go check that out. And April says, I've been a member a lot longer, Amanda. I joined the same day. Amanda and I joined the same day. Well, it says 2 months. I don't know. You know, I've been monetized for about 3 months, so I thought probably 3 months, but whatever. As long as it's keeping track of something. And thank you for your membership. Walter says, I just had a Grainger ad last few times looking for parts. They didn't have them. Well, maybe they are personalizing ads to the people that watch. I guess that's the easiest way to get somebody to buy something through an ad, if you're an advertiser. April says, my puppy is chewing on everything. Ugh. I got some vitamins to help the teeth. Hopefully, soon she will stop chewing and biting on everything, including me. Well, here's what you do. Go to town and buy 2 things. Buy a teething ring and a tube of Orajel. And take a little bit and put it on the tip of your finger and rub her gums with it if she's chewing on stuff. And give her that thing to chew on, the little teething ring, little plastic chewy thing. And let her have something to chew on, and her teeth will stop hurting and she'll stop chewing on everything. Amanda says, I know, that's what I told them. It chooses at random. Lisa Reen says, so sweet, Amanda and Jake, for trying, all because I am leery to put my new debit on the YouTube street. I can just add it and tempt fate. Well, I'm pretty sure that YouTube will not scam you. It's never scammed me. I will verify, or I will vouch for the YouTube way of doing things. So I've never seen them purposely take advantage of anybody. That being said, I would make certain that whatever device you do that on, that's the only thing you use that device for, and don't let it save your card number. Take the time to punch it in. That way it won't be saved in your memory, and there won't be anybody can hack your phone and get that information. But that's entirely up to you. We're working on it, and I'm trying. And if I got to log into your account and put my card on your account and use it that way, I'll do that. I'll just send you the information, and you can plug it in. Then you can delete it. I trust you to do that. We'll make it work. Dana says, I am not on any social media, only YouTube. I hear you, dear. Well, it's not a requirement. You don't have to go to the Facebook page, but it's there should you decide to utilize it. And also, you can email me should you decide to utilize that. The email address is on the screen right here. There's also a website in the description is the link. You can find that and go to the website if you want to. Not a lot you can do there, but it'll bring you back to here. But it's there so that we can be on Google search, and all you got to do is type in my name or Untethered Live, and it'll bring you right to me. And Amanda says, I'm sorry, Lisa Reen. Elaborate. She says, I'm sorry. I worked on it all podcast long, and I even got in touch with YouTube to find out how to do it, and they just don't have a way of doing it, and I apologize. I did the best I could. And Amanda says, give her yardsticks, April. Let her chew on that. A stick or a chewy thing, either one. It's a puppy, so I'd say use a teething ring. Puppies' teeth have a tendency to break, so you don't want them chewing on sticks just yet. Cold Creek Croft says, tailored ads? Then why do I only get ones for Depends or pistol holsters? Because they're tailored ads. I don't know. I get ads for mustache cream and nose hair pickers. Go figure. April says, she's got something she does chew it, but I guess she gets bored with it, and I'll try that, Jake. Yeah, they do make some for dogs that have flavors on them. So you might want to try that, or one of those, it's kind of like a milk bone, but it's made out of something softer like rawhide. Try that. If she gets bored chewing on things, I'd suggest go with the flavored ones because there'll be something different for her to chew on. Curious Squirrel says, I'm Lori in northern New York, near the St. Lawrence River. I found you when Caucasian Sasquatch and Captain Curmudgeon had fun with your Hyperbole. Well, Curious Squirrel, thank you for being here, and I hope that you enjoyed Hyperbole. not everybody enjoys it, so I'm glad you did. And I appreciate you coming by and hanging out with us. And I hope that you have subscribed to the channel and will come back for more. We do Bible study on Sunday and Monday, and then we hang out on Wednesday and Friday and play guitar and sing and do all kinds of conversations and anything else we want to do. So come join us. Be part of the family. Walter Davis says, that's up there, squirrel. April says, puts everything in her mouth, and I got to watch her every move. Well, that's what happens when you get a puppy. Walter says, my brother went to St. Lawrence University. He looked at the schools in the summer and thought it was nice. Changed his mind in the winter. Yeah, it gets pretty cold up there in the wintertime. I went and did a show, and I had to stay 2 weeks in Minot, North Dakota. You know where that's at? That's right up there beside the border of Canada. I could throw a rock from the back of the band house and hit Canada with it. And I'm telling you, it was in December, and it's the coldest I've ever been in my life. I thought I was going to die, like for real. I went outside to smoke a cigarette, and I had 7 layers of clothes on, including a big old terry cloth robe and all my clothes underneath it. I just went out for 5 minutes to smoke a cigarette, but when I went out, the door closed behind me and locked, and it was about midnight, and it was very, very cold. And I reached up and jiggled the handle and couldn't get back in, so I started beating on the door, but all the band members were in the door, inside with noise-canceling headphones on so that they couldn't hear each other snoring, and nobody heard me knocking. And I looked over around the corner, and I could see across the street there was a store that was still open, and I thought to myself, can I make it across the street before I pass out? Now, mind you, I was out there for 5 minutes, and at that moment, my hands started shaking, and I started getting tunnel vision. That's how cold it was. I started losing sensation. I felt like I was going to pass out. So I said, can I make it across the street, or do I need to kick the door in? So that's what I did. I kicked the damn door in and got inside. And it cost me $100 to fix that door the next day, but I got inside and I didn't die. The next night, I was out there smoking a cigarette at the bar while we were playing, while I was on break, and an Indian dude walked by me wearing no shirt. The same weather. So it's me. Apparently, I'm not made for the cold. That guy apparently was. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that little anecdote. Walter Davis, I read that one. April said, thanks, Kevin. I love her, though. I'm glad you love your puppy. I'm glad you got one. I'm glad Kevin got it for you. That was a sweet thing. April says, OMG. Hope you guys have had a good time tonight. I have had a blast. I'm going to go to bed. Thank you all so much for being here. Happy Memorial Day. I hope you had a great weekend and everybody tied one on and had a great time. I'll see you guys Wednesday at 8:30 right here, as usual. Curious Squirrel says, yes, we are in the snow belt. Lake effect snow off Lake Ontario has buried us in 5 feet of snow in a day. Temperatures in the -20s, often in winter without a wind chill. That's terrifying. Why would anybody want to live up there? I pity you. Thank you for sharing that, but I don't think I ever want to go that far north again. April says, when did that happen, Jake? That was the year my mom died, so that'd be 2015. I went up about 2 weeks in Minot, North Dakota, and did a show up there for 2 weeks. And then I came back here. It's one of the many times I've been out on the road. It's no special thing. It was just as furthest north as I've ever been. And Walter says, yeah, the guy, J6, with the buffalo horns. Oh, the shaman. No shirt, and it was about 20 degrees out there and windy. Yeah, I don't understand how them people do that. I had 7 layers of clothes on and thought I was going to die. I was genuinely concerned that I wouldn't make it back into the house. That's how cold it was. This dude's walking around with no shirt on. like nothing. He wasn't even bundled up. He was just walking around. I don't know how they do it. I guess if you live there, you get accustomed to it, but not this boy. Curious Squirrel says, I am subscribed. I'm enjoying the Bible studies, Hyperbole, and chilling evenings. Awesome, Curious Squirrel, and I appreciate you joining in the chat and talk more often because I like getting to know my people. Amanda says, night all, see you Wednesday. Yes, I do have to get up and go to work in the morning. April says, much love to you all. May God bless you and us all. Sweet dreams and good night, everybody. I love you, April. You're such a doll. I appreciate every minute you're with me. April says, yep, that's where Chris is living and working now. He says it's freezing there. But the sky is beautiful at night. Yes, it is. And it's also very clear. You can see the stars up there in a way you can't see them down here. I did like being there. I enjoyed my time in Minot, North Dakota, but I would not want to live there. I enjoyed visiting. I would not want to stay there for any length of time. Linda says, good night, April, and everyone here tonight. Linda, good night, sweetheart. And I hope you guys have a good rest. You and Walter love each other, and come back and see me Wednesday. It's going to be a great week. I can feel it. Walter says, good night, all. God bless, and thank you, Jake. Thank you, Walter. Thank you for being here. Thank everybody for being here. Thank you for listening to my blathering on, and I hope to do it again very soon. God bless you all. May his blessings abound in your life, and may his grace light your footsteps every which way you go. Do me a favor. When you go out into the world tomorrow and you interface with humankind, be nice to somebody on purpose, like intentionally. Just be nice. Smile. That's it. Show a little bit of your inner light. Do something pleasant in the presence of someone else. Do something kind for someone and watch it change your life. I promise you it will. You do that and it'll make you a better human being all the way around, and people will love being around you for it. Your light will begin to shine and everyone will want to be part of it. And when they come to you, and they will come to you and ask you, are you doing something different? What's going on with you? You're glowing a little bit. You tell them, go watch Untethered Live. You'll find out. Have a great night. I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Thank you for being here. I love you. True, from the bottom of my heart, I do. See you next time. Thanks for watching.